Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dev Diary, where today cheating is the name of the game. So before we get into what that actually means, remember to leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. So long story short, we're still on my journey to better understanding how gamemaker works under the hood. This has come in the form of several experiments focusing on visual elements, and thus is the focus of today's project, but with a greater emphasis on gameplay. The game is broken into two parts. The player's part is the ghost bug anomaly, I don't know, just go with it. And the opponent, a simple humanoid existing in a desert of colors and random objects. And the goal is simple, find the humanoid. But the twist is both are on screen at the same time. That's right, today's goal was to create a split screen game, but as always with a Dev Diary twist. So the world is generated very similarly to something like our Kenny Asset game. And to save time, I've even carried over some of the modified grass tiles from that project. Along with random patches of grass are a whole bunch of props ranging from wells to bushes, trees to bookshelves and more. And finally, a whole bunch of random NPCs are spawned, all with their own unique looks. Indeed, our humanoids have a choice of hairstyles, skin colors, including orc-human hybrids because why not? And each NPC also gets randomly colored shirts, pants, and shoes. Then one lucky NPC is chosen to be the player's target. Now again, the gameplay is very simple. The player has a couple of minutes to run around the stage attempting to find the target NPC. And this requires the player to cheat and look at the second half of the screen and use context clues to pinpoint the NPC's location. So no, the random patches of grass and props are not an attempt at modern art, it's just a way to establish the playing field. Anyway, the player can interact with any NPC using spacebar, but only doing so on the target NPC will result in a win for the player. Otherwise, they lose if time runs out. And just to add another twist here, the player's character does not show up on the NPC side of the screen, both to add to the challenge of the game itself, but to also test what gamemaker could do. Because that was the game in a nutshell, a pretty basic premise with a lot going on under the hood to make it happen. To get a bit more technical, we're building on techniques used in the last attempt, which had our players' vision impaired whenever they weren't wearing their glasses. The same basic premise is used here just so we can prevent the player from showing up on the NPC side of the screen. And again, without going into too many crazy technical details, we flatten the world into a single sprite and stuff all of our draws into surfaces. Then we basically draw the scene twice, one for the player's view and again for the NPC's view, which surprisingly wasn't too heavy on any systems. And though our game isn't really too intensive to begin with, being able to pull this off means that there is so much potential to be had there with the right creative idea. And honestly, that knowledge alone is extremely valuable for future projects. Because knowledge is half the battle. Kinda like the knowledge that if you enjoy my content, supporting me on Patreon is the best way to help me keep making it. Doing so can get you access to exclusive content and downloads, plus early access to the Dev Diary videos before they're released on YouTube. Haha! So as fun and as cool as this system is, it's unfortunately not perfect. There's a nasty, mysterious bug that can occur seemingly at random. It's so mysterious in fact that on first glance, it seems that gamemaker is like a Pokemon hurting itself in confusion. But in reality, what I think this error relates to is the sequence of events needed to create the split screen effect. But my best guess is that despite the checks for everything to exist before performing any draw actions, something is firing off prematurely and thus gamemaker spits out this error. Also, I'm not sure how this will come off after YouTube does its compression and everything, but keep an eye on the CPU shadows, because it seems like the shadows in the NPC's view retains alpha information from the player's view, leading to a weird discoloration / inconsistency with the shadows. And to be honest, I think that's just an engine issue and I don't think there's really anything I can do to fix that. But aside from these two issues, seeing this end result is kind of fascinating. This is the type of stuff I'm looking for when I'm doing these experiments. What can we do to gamemaker as an engine before it breaks, or what kind of directions can we mold this hunk of clay before it snaps under the weight of ambition. I do have to admit that this is not a good way to do split screen though, unless you need your player to be invisible. There are more efficient ways to do this is what I'm saying. But that's part of the fun of learning, right? Also, I should note that I am aware that this is not a new concept. There's a game called Screen Cheat that totally exists, and was the primary inspiration for this project. And I'm actually surprised that more developers haven't taken advantage of this concept. And so perhaps that's where we come in, because I totally have like different paths that this project could go in terms of like new features, which I would love to do. Well, you know, after I figure out the mysterious bugs. So if you would like me to continue with this concept, let me know. Also, be sure to share your own ideas of what else we could do with the concept of like, you know, two worlds coexisting in the same visual space, I guess. I would love to hear what you guys think, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. But with that said, brings us to the end of today's Dev Diary, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.